Welcome to Making the Case. I'm Yorit Tualde. Tonight in Florida, major new restrictions on voting are in effect. A law was signed today by Governor Ron DeSantis during a secretive ceremony where most of the media were banned from taking witness of the event. The list of changes included in the bill is extensive, but here's a look at some of the most significant restrictions. The new law limits the use of absentee ballot drop boxes only during the early voting period. It also adds new ID requirements to request absentee ballots and forces voters to reapply for those absentee ballots for each general cycle. And as we speak, lawmakers in Texas are preparing to vote on a Republican-backed bill that takes similar swipes at voters' rights. Opponents say both efforts clearly target voters of color. In just a moment, we'll talk with someone leading the effort to try and protect the vote. Cliff Albright is co-founder of Black Voters Matter, who responded to Senate Bill 90 by filing a lawsuit just minutes after the bill was signed. We also have civil rights attorney James Cook joining us to look at the legal course these lawsuits could take and the impacts of this new bill. But first, BNC correspondent Stephanie Bertini is following today's developments from Miami.
SB 90 signed into law, Florida's governor behind the bill from day one. In a tweet today, the governor said it will increase transparency and strengthen security of elections. All this after former President Donald Trump claimed voter fraud in the last election, where he lost his second aim at the presidency to President Biden. Democrats outraged today.
Show me the fraud. Let's talk about that. The fraud that we did not see.
Across the state of Florida, those critical of the changes to voting laws pushing back, like civic engagement organization Mgage, the executive director of the Florida chapter, speaking up.
We focus a lot on policies that impact a lot of folks, in particular the Black and brown community. So talking about SB 90, it's one of those pieces of legislation that's directly affecting majority of our constituency base.
The bill puts restrictions on box drop use. It adds new ID requirements for voting by mail, limits who can return a completed mail-in ballot, while prohibiting the use of nonprofit and private funds to conduct elections.
But we do feel that it's through coalition groups and through the people itself rising up that we can actually move our country forward, in contrast to some of those elected officials who are trying to take us backwards with this piece of legislation.
We're already seeing pushback, a suit filed right after the governor signed the bill into law by a coalition, including the Black Voters Matter Fund. I'm reporting in Miami-Dade. I'm Stephanie Bertini for BNC.
Now to my panel tonight. Cliff Albright is the co-founder of Black Voters Matter. Also joining us, civil rights attorney James Cook. All right, guys, starting with you first. Cliff, minutes after this law was signed in Florida, your organization filed lawsuits along with others. But the law has already taken effect. What, in your opinion, is going to have the biggest impact in terms of the restrictions?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that's wrong with this bill, with this new law, and thanks for having me. I think one of the provisions that could have one of the biggest impacts is the reinforced voter ID provisions. Florida already had voter ID provisions. They've just added an extra layer onto that, which really reveals what their true motivations are. It's not about stopping fraud. There was no fraud. In fact, they boasted after the election, saying that their state was the gold standard for the election, an election that their Republican officials administered under a system that they created. And so it's not about the fraud, but I think that provision, again, could be one of the ones that has the biggest impacts. But of course, each of them, the Dropbox provisions could have a big impact, because we know what provisions like these have done in the past in other states when they've been implemented. They target Black, brown, young voters in low-income communities.
Now, James, legally speaking, how will the courts respond to the recent lawsuits that were filed? I mean, we already know what the Supreme Court would say, right? So, your take.
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to say I'm so glad to be on here with Cliff, and I'm really happy about that. And please keep those going. Do not stop the struggle. So, in terms of what the courts will say, well, look, all you got to do is you got to look back at you track the Voting Rights Act in 1965 and what happened, and specifically the pre-clearance requirement. All right, and it's the pre-clearance requirement that was enacted in order to prevent these things. It identified jurisdictions in the South, and it said they cannot pass voting laws which specifically adversely affect black and brown people, minorities is what they say. And this is what's happening now. What I think, if I was to predict, I think that in the circuit courts, I believe that the efforts on by Black Voters Matter, NAACP, ACLU, I believe that we'll get some play in the circuit courts, and hopefully they will remand many of those things. Tell them to go back down to the trial courts and get it figured out. I'm not hopeful about what happens if we go to the Supreme Court. 6-3 is all I can say. That's a score to the Supreme Court.
Cliff, we know Texas legislatures, my home state that I'm consistently embarrassed by, are discussing a similar bill. What's different in this one, or what are the similarities?
Well, some of the similarities, and these are similarities that they have with each other as well as with the Georgia bill, right, that was also signed into law. You have a couple of things. One, you have states and state legislatures that are basically trying to overrule and supersede local elected officials. In Georgia, they went as far as including a provision that would let the state disband and suspend the county level board of elections. You're seeing the same thing in Texas, in the sense that, one, all of the provisions in the Texas bill are pretty much aimed squarely at Harris County, directly at some of the things that the Harris County judge had done during the most recent election. I'm talking about things like the 24-hour voting by card, mailing out the mail by ballot applications to folks, even if they hadn't asked for it, which seems like a common sense thing to do. And so they're targeting these elected officials, but not just are they saying you can't do this, they're actually criminalizing them if they do these things. And that's one of the other similarities that you see, is that the increased criminalization that's been put in each of these bills, criminalizing everything from giving out food and water, criminalizing mailing out ballots, criminalizing if you make mistakes on filling out the ballot or in registering somebody, that becomes a criminal offense. And so those are a couple of things that we're seeing in common across all these bills.
Now, we're seeing this trend of governors signing bills in secret ceremonies. What do you make of that, Cliff?
Yeah, a lot's been made of the fact that DeSantis today, he did it in secret, behind closed doors, literally only allowing Fox News, which I guess in his vision is like the state-sponsored news channel. And the same thing happened in Georgia, right, when Governor Kemp was literally behind closed doors, to the point where you may recall that one of our black female elected officials was arrested just for knocking on the door, because she was demanding the same thing that a lot of people were demanding today, which was transparency. Picture that in a bill where he's boasting about how it's increasing transparency in the elections. You can't even have transparency in the signing ceremony.
Exactly my thought. I mean, they're so steadfast in their reasonings behind these bills, but yet can't face the media and the scrutiny and the questions about them. So very, very telling. We're starting to see more and more states follow suit, right? Florida, Texas, Georgia. Do you see more states acting in the same manner? Oh, I think you're muted, Cliff.
Oh. Well,
there we go. There we go.
We know that.
Start all that over.
We know that. According to the Brennan Center, there were 47 states at one point that had introduced 361 pieces of legislation, proposed bills. Since that time is now down. I think, after some of these sessions have closed out, it might be down to around 20-something or 30-something states at this point. But we've seen this happen over the past couple of months, and there's no signs that it's going to be decreasing. If anything, again, I say it all the time, people cheat when they're losing, right? If you're an old school spades player or something, your opponent only reneges when your opponent is losing, right? And that's exactly what's happening in these situations. They're losing either because they lost the presidential election, because they lost a state like Georgia, or because of their fears. I mean, keep in mind, in Florida, that's a state that Trump won. Texas, that's a state that Trump won. Right. But they see the writing on the wall in terms of the increasing numbers and powers of black and brown voters.
Truly, truly a great segment. Thank you so much. Black Voters Matter co-founder Cliff Albright and civil rights attorney James Cook. Thank you again.
Thank you.